contributions go beyond that of just being an examination body to that of promoting sustainable human resource capacity.
Embrace modern technology. Vice President Oshibajo charges West African Examination Council at 70.
The management to effectively conduct routine standard operation check, thereby raising serious issues about the safety and reliability of our rail services.
Alleged inefficiency. House of Representatives to investigate Nigerian Railway Corporation.
The president has released a huge amount of money to commence the payment. So, no cause for alarm.
Plus, fake news. Nigerian police force describes alleged planned strike action by personnel, says efforts are on to implement their new salaries and allowances. Good evening. This is NTA Network News, and we're reaching you live from Abuja. I'm Yenri John. Adeola Komiakere is in our Lagos studio, while Zenred Dingman is in Jos. Welcome. It's good to know that you can follow this news broadcast live on our website at ntang.ng/live. Our YouTube channel is NTA News Online. Our Twitter handle is at NTA News Now. You can also visit our Facebook page at NTA Network News and Instagram NTA Network for updates. We'll begin with security tonight, as Nigeria's military successes in the ongoing counterinsurgency operations in the northeast is acknowledged by the Global Index on Terrorism. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya, stated this at the commencement of the 2022 First Quarter Chief of Army Staff Conference holding in Abuja. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa has the details.
These are Nigerian Army field commanders, principal officers and heads of units and formations at this periodic platform to review their operations to decisively tackle the prevailing security threat.
We shall continue to forge ahead with even greater vigor, commitment and dedication, and would not let Nigerians down.
To stem the emerging challenges, the Army upscaled force restructuring, deployment of new platforms to theaters of operation, and training in conjunction with foreign partners.
Our modest successes against the terrorists in the Northeast are being recognized and applauded in the global index. This was achieved through increased synergy with our sister services.
New enhanced welfare packages for Army personnel will be unveiled at the conference. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
And now talking education, with 70 years of education and human skills development in the West African sub-region, and now faced with the challenge of more sophisticated examination malpractice, the West African Examinations Council has been advised to start preparing for the next 70 years to overcome more challenging times in the face of innovation and technology-driven age. Vice President Yemi Oshibajo gave the advice when declaring open the 70th annual council meeting of WAEC with the theme 70 years of reliable educational assessment and commitment to regional cooperation and integration. State House correspondent Dido Nifade reports.
Nweze Isabella Chinaza, Nigerian, first prize winner of the WAEC International Excellence Award for the West African Secondary School Certificate 2021, and also the National Distinction and Merit Award winner for the same examination. Ediani Izuchukwu, also Nigerian, came second in the national award and third in the international category, while the second winner in the international category is from Ghana, named Asante Kwame Brako. Pascal Chiemerie, Nigerian, is the third prize winner in the National Distinction and Merit Award category. Celebrating with the winners and the West African Examinations Council, Vice President Yemi Oshibajo says there is no doubt that more than 90% of the people from countries that made up the council, Nigeria, Ghana, Liberia, Sierra Leone, and the Gambia, have benefited from the examinations body.
But WAEC's contributions go beyond that of just being an examination body to that of promoting sustainable human resource capacity, the integration and cooperation of West African states. And in these past 70 years, WAEC has shown its own resilience by the challenges that it has faced, and has faced them forthrightly, resolving issues, for example, of exam malpractice, and evolving steadily and confidently into a more technology-driven organization.
Commenting on the high level of examination malpractices by candidates, as narrated by the chairman of the council, Professor Ato Esuma, and the registrar, Pate Bar, the vice president recommends some crucial steps the body will have to take to tackle its challenges.
Whereas the teaching and delivery of the West African school certificate, for example, encourages learning by rote, the IGCSE incorporates the teaching.
It recommends some crucial steps the body will have to take to tackle its challenges.
Whereas the teaching and delivery of the West African school certificate, for example, encourages learning by rote, the IGCSE incorporates the teaching of core skills, deep learning skills as they are described today: critical thinking, creativity, imagination, problem-solving skills, and collaboration. These are essential skills that young people need today to be competitive and to be prepared for life and work in the global economy. This is the Africa that WAEC must prepare our children for. An Africa that will need world-class young people who have strong interpersonal, innovative, entrepreneurial, critical, and creative thinking skills, amongst others.
Both Nigeria and the Gambia are said to be up to date in their financial commitments to the examination body, and the Vice President reaffirms Nigerians' continued support for the West African Examination Council. In Abuja, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Meanwhile, ministries, departments and agencies involved in the implementation of the national action plans have been advised to intensify efforts in the execution of the plan's aim towards creating a better business environment. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo gave the advice when the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, which he chairs, received the midway report on National Action Plan 7.0. Again, State House correspondent Jide Onifade brings us details.
It is half-time for the ministries, departments and agencies responsible for the implementation of the National Action Plan 7.0. The plan started on February 7th this year and is to end on April 7th. So it is exactly just over midway.
And so we were looking at the progress so far. You know, we have the agro-export plan, and then we have the other initiatives, the regulatory initiatives, the automation initiative, the airport plan.
Referencing the commitment of the administration to improving the economy, the Vice President said implementing these reforms are vital towards further improving the country's business environment. Here is the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Otumba Niyi Adebayo.
The results, midterm report, which was presented to us, showed that there's still a lot of work to be done. And we listened to the report, we looked at all the areas that were touched on. A lot of the areas especially had to do with the ports, the level of the ports, the level of work that's going on at the ports, how the ease of exportation and importation into the country. So these are all the areas, some of the areas that were looked at, and with a view to see how we can improve on the situation as it is.
The Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council's Secretariat has been monitoring the implementation of the National Action Plan and presented the midway scorecard to the Council.
It wasn't too encouraging where we are right now after day 30. So we really need to drill down on those escalations and to hold agencies accountable and to encourage them to push more to deliver these reforms for Nigerians.
The National Action Plan 7.0 has an implementation period of 60 days, and achieving just 26% midway is considered not acceptable. And Vice President Yemi Osinbajo emphasized that what has to be done must be done to improve for the benefit of all Nigerians. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
And away from the State House now, the Nigeria Police Force is working round the clock to ensure full implementation of the incremental salaries and allowances of officers and men recently approved by the Federal Executive Council. Acting Force Public Relations Officer Muyiwa Adejobi stated this while reacting to the alleged strike action by some members of the Nigeria Police Force. Francis Fom reports.
Barely one day after the news of the alleged strike action by some personnel of the Nigeria Police Force trended on the social media, which the force has since described the action as fake and mischievous.
So we are very, very sure that that message did not come from the police.
The leadership of the Nigeria Police Force is reassuring officers and men that the budget department of the force is working to ensure the necessary documents are forwarded to the Ministry of Finance for the commencement of payment of the recently approved salaries and allowances for officers and men of the force.
This was the initiative of the president. He was the one that started it, and is the one that has the minister to present the FEC, and the FEC has approved. The president has released a huge amount of money to commence the payment. So no cause for alarm is the pet project of the federal government, and that is what they will do. So there is no need for us to, and they are going to pay in arrears. No matter if it is April, if it is June, if it is May, they will pay arrears. That's one good thing about it.
The acting force PRO assures that the Nigeria Police Force, under the leadership of Usman Al-Khali Baba, will continue to transform the force in line with international best practices. Francis from NTA News.
In other news, the House of Representatives has resolved to investigate the state of affairs in the Nigeria Railway Corporation following allegations of inefficiency. National Assembly correspondent Lamiale reports that the decision is sequel to a motion from Minority Leader during Tuesday's plenary.
In the motion, the Minority Leader Ndudi Elumelu mentioned incidents when trains on transit with passengers experienced breakdown, citing a recent episode on 11th March 2022 when a train conveying passengers and goods from Lagos to Ibadan was said to have stopped midway due to insufficient fuel.
Points to the inability of the management to effectively conduct routine standard operation check, thereby raising serious issues about the safety and reliability of our rail services, which must be seriously investigated.
Is indicative of an underlying problem.
House members also expressed concern over allegations of ticket racketeering and hoarding by some staff of the corporation, a situation they noted as economic sabotage capable of undermining revenue generation that may affect loan repayment targets. The report of the meeting held between House leadership and stakeholders on the scarcity and high cost of aviation fuel was submitted during plenary.
I believe they have been able to come to some concrete resolutions that has hopefully we believe should save the industry from imminent collapse.
The work was done extremely well, and we have been able to save the country and teaming Nigerian populace from imminent embarrassment.
The report of which has 3 critical recommendations. Meet within next 3 days and agree on some terms of agreement which we believe is going to address the problem. Mr. Speaker, honorable members.
In view of the scarcity of petrol, the House urged authorities to hand over the nation's refineries to foreign entities to get them working.
In an effort to resuscitate them, the federal government of Nigeria is reported to have spent a whopping $26.5 billion United States of America dollar.
The report on a bill to amend Obafemi Awolowo University and bill to establish Federal College of Nursing, Midwifery and Health Sciences, Isia Lambano, Imo State, were considered and approved. 3 bills were taken at third reading and passed, while a bill seeking to amend National Senior Citizen Center to enable establishment of citizen centers and old people's homes in all states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory passed second reading. From the National Assembly, Lani Ali, NTA News.
This is NTA Network News. We shall take a break now. The news returns shortly.
Ajaye go gym. You won't go shake your body. Instead, they make it calm down. He the pump say it's tabby. You want to grow 6 packs in a day. You know you pass your power. You want to show yourself. Oh. Yeah.
Whatever your size, find it with the new Airtel data plans. Dial *141# now to get the plan that suits you. Airtel, the smartphone network.
The Zenith Better Life promo is back, and it's bigger and better. You could be one of 20 lucky customers to win 150,000 naira every 2 weeks from now till January 31st, 2023. To qualify, simply open a Zenith Bank account and maintain a minimum balance of 5,000 naira. For more information, visit www.zenithbank.com/betterlife. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
What are you waiting for? Millions of Nigerians have received COVID-19 vaccine. I have taken my own. What about you? We have taken our own. What about you? I am strong and healthy. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? We are strong and healthy. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Go and get your job. The hospitals, churches, and the mosques. Go and get your job. Health centers, hurry up now. Don't be late. Go and get your job. Bye-bye, Corona. Bye-bye, Corona. This message is brought to you by the National Primary Health Care Development Agency, NPHCDA.
Oh boy.
You know, I know you're making up the truth. Why can't I go before I lose my cool? I know you even past the difficult.
It's been a long day, and nothing could feel better than sleeping comfortably. So relax. You won't be bothered by leakage or irritation tonight. Huggies Dry Comfort has a super fast dry layer that quickly absorbs wetness for all-night dryness and comfort. So baby can wake up comfy and dry as the night before. And you keep doing great, Mom.
Now in a new look pack, available from 550 naira.
It's scary, isn't it? Putting yourself out there, ignoring the voices telling you can't. Moments like these are when your fight or flight response kick in. Will you step aside? Or will you go for it? After all, what's the worst that could happen? So, keep trying. Don't stop. Don't give up. Push harder. Give it everything you've got. Because nothing is really impossible when you dig deep. Believe in yourself and go for it. Olive Daddy is available in many variants to nourish you every step of the way.
Enjoy the reward that sharing brings with the Airtel Family Plan. Get bonus talk time, SMS, and data for each family member you share with. Dial *141# now. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Thank you for staying. Just a quick reminder that you can follow this news broadcast live on our website, nta.ng/live, on our YouTube channel, NTA News Online. Twitter is at NTA News Now. You can also visit our Facebook page, NTA Network News, and our Instagram is NTA Network for updates. 15 countries from West Africa and Sahel sub-region, including Nigeria, are holding deliberations on the food crisis and malnutrition in the region. The meeting is under the auspices of the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization for West Africa. Musa Aliyu reports.
Good morning and welcome.
These are delegates from 15 West African countries and the Sahel. They converge on this hall at Transcorp Hilton, Abuja, to discuss one important thing, which is food. Food, not for their personal consumption, but for the 297 million people across the entire West African sub-region. This is the 13th time they are meeting, and this year's theme is joining efforts to build resistant agri-food systems in West Africa and the Sahel.
It will also offer an opportunity to enhance collaboration, joint planning, and mutual accountability in driving actions towards a resilient agro-food systems in West Africa and Sahel.
Climate change, population growth, and urbanization were identified as key issues leading to increase in food insecurity in the region and the Sahel.
Countries in West Africa and the Sahel have witnessed the negative impacts of climate change, a declining natural resource base, recurrent natural and human-induced disasters, and rising insecurity.
Muhammad Mahmoud Abubakar, Minister of Agriculture, says food insecurity and malnutrition remain a major challenge for 19 million people in 21 states in the country.
Therefore, it is important to stress the need for coordinated, multidisciplinary, and multi-sectoral approaches in tackling agricultural development issues.
United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization is supporting the West African nations to have a better production, nutrition, environment, and life. Musa Aliyu, NTA News.
And still on agriculture, plans are underway to assist rural communities and smallholder farmers in conflict and post-conflict territories in Nigeria to become supplier chain farmers rather than producing for just local consumption. Avas, an indigenous agricultural and food production firm, is engaging a renowned international foundation, Plant for Peace, in realization of the initiative, which will kick off on the 7th of next month. Charles Alpha reports.
The need to advance Nigeria's agriculture and rural development in the midst of conflict is resonating across borders. Achieving food security and sustainable economic development for self-sufficiency in the face of climate change and insecurity is calling for desperate measures among nations. The private sector, and indeed an indigenous firm, is taking up the challenge with the engagement of experts proven to have succeeded in similar areas in Afghanistan. In a virtual media parley by Avas, organizers of the upcoming event say the initiative will revolutionize agriculture in Nigeria and the place of smallholder farmers in delivering maximally. The Chief Executive Officer, Avas Consulting, Michael Kadiri, believes the amount of technology and infrastructure that will be delivered by Plant for Peace will create different compelling opportunities in Nigeria's agricultural sector. Founder, Plant for Peace, James Brett, bringing to bear his experiences in stabilizing troubled areas of the world in empowering communities to become self-sufficient through sustainable agriculture and trade, said smaller farmers and communities in Nigeria will be participating in global food markets. Advancing Nigeria's agriculture and rural development in the midst of conflict is the theme. The Vice President Yemi Osinbajo and notable governors are expected to flag off the event on the 7th of April in Abuja. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
First Lady of Nigeria, Aisha Buhari, has stressed the need for global partnership for the promotion of humanitarian efforts to improve the lives of the vulnerable towards making the world a better place. The First Lady stated this while addressing participants at the 18th Dubai International Humanitarian and Development Conference and Exhibition tagged DHAD 2022, currently taking place in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. State House correspondent Aliyu Kabir reports.
The three-day 18th Dubai International Humanitarian and Development Conference and exhibition tagged DHAT 2022, which was built on SDG Goal 17 of promoting peaceful and inclusive society for sustainable development, the First Lady of Nigeria said is appropriate considering the challenges of climate change and COVID-19 pandemic, which called for greater concern by all stakeholders. The First Lady has also shared her success story under the Aisha Buhari Foundation and future assured of promoting the lives of Nigerian women and children through various interventions in health, education, women and youth empowerment, as well as addressing malnutrition, among others.
The challenges of post-COVID-19 and the current conflict in Ukraine have compelled the need for the examine the existing humanitarian responses to address the emerging issues. The emphasis of interdependence and mutuality in the humanitarian and development sector should be used more generously to shape the new direction and attitude of our multiple stakeholders.
With hundreds of thousands of Nigerian women, youth and children benefiting from the humanitarian gesture of our foundation since 2015, Mrs. Buhari has called for more partnerships towards achieving future plan to set a new phase of humanitarian effort for the betterment of the global community, focusing attention on the less privileged groups in Nigeria in particular and in the African continent.
Now, the interface between
Dr. Manan Muhammad Riyan of Noor Foundation of Dubai and other stakeholders from across the globe also emphasized the need for the global action in this direction for the sake of humanity.
That is why the Aisha Buhari Foundation and Future Assured that is represented here is very likely to benefit from the opportunities abundant here for partnership.
This conference is particularly important because it's a humanitarian, conference that is organized to promote partnerships in humanitarian aid.
The First Lady reaffirmed her commitment towards improving the lives of Nigerians, particularly women, youth and children, and her presence at the DHAT 2022 is a clear demonstration to that regard. In Dubai, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
Back home, as the increment in the cost of aviation fuel lingers, the airlines might just be only a few days away from shutting down operations. Except there is a reversal in the cost of Jet A1. Some airline operators consider this as a serious economic sabotage in an exclusive interview with aviation correspondent Emmanuel Ayemiro.
We have no reason to understand how fuel prices can climb astronomically in days. There's no reason for it. The fuel was here already. They're not buying fuel every day. They already had the fuel. So after buying the fuel at a very cheap rate, they're taking advantage of everybody to raise the prices every morning when they wake up. We think it's a cartel, and we think that cartel needs to be stopped and corrected.
There are two major commodities that the airline operators and ground handlers rely on to carry out daily operations. Unfortunately, the cost of the two products, aviation fuel and diesel, is rising, leading to a continuous increment in airfares. Industry players are worried that the cartel is allowed to determine daily prices of each product persistently.
February 2022, you are buying the same fuel, first at 390, then at 407, and by first week in March, it's 629. And there is no way you can keep the same price because fuel is a major factor in flying safety of the aircraft.
If nothing is done about the current situation, then it won't be long. Some of us will just wake up in the morning and not have enough money to buy fuel to operate.
Another important modal factor into the cost of air ticket is the ground handlers who make use of machines to complement the services of the airlines. The diesel is also a serious problem to them.
I think one of the things that we must be very careful about is that we get to a point whereby we begin to, you are trying to go to the sky, you are afraid to go to the sky because an airline or a ground company is cutting costs. Before the pandemic, I had to pay a cost of about 5 point something million to bring in a 33 1,000 liters of fuel, of diesel. As at today, I pay almost about 15 million to get the same liters of diesel.
When you deregulate a sector, that means you cannot come back and fix prices or say this is the minimum price an airline can charge. Definitely airlines are allowed to increase their price according to the market.
In the long run, should operators of airline be granted licenses to import aviation fuel to avoid being held to ransom by oil marketers? Who regulates agencies responsible for monitoring importation and sales of the products? These and many other questions serve as posers for authorities concerned to answer. Emmanuel Ayemiwo, NTA News.
Many thanks, Emmanuel. And now flying into the Red Chamber, the Senate is considering a bill that seeks to establish sickle cell disease research and treatment centers across Nigeria. The National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwo reports that the bill, which has passed second reading, canvasses early detection and prevention of the inherited disease.
150 babies are said to be born with sickle cell disease in Nigeria annually. A statistics that the World Health Organization in 2021 says account for half of the global burden. A legislative intervention by the Senate is now on with a proposed law that will establish centers across the state for early detection and treatment of sickle cell anemia. Senator Akun Iyakenyi is the sponsor of the bill.
For the establishment of the sickle cell disease research and treatment center in teaching hospitals across the country.
There must be some emphasis on education, like we have done in terms of COVID-19 and HIV.
Sickle cell is a disease that we are all concerned about, and if there is anything that we need to do to minimize its depressive and debilitating impact, we should do so.
The bill that seeks to regulate the practice of mortgage banking, mortgage brokers, and the activities of its practitioners in Nigeria, sponsored by Senator Tolu Odebiyi and the Federal University of Medical Sciences, Gwadabawa Sokoto State Establishment Bill, sponsored by Senator Ibrahim Gobir, also passed second reading. Senate passed the Federal College of Education, Ekeadolo, Edo State Establishment Bill, sponsored by Senator Matthew Oregide.
The Institute will regulate its members and set standards in line with global best practices
and to contribute to the scientific transformation of medical and other health practices in Nigeria,
thereby closing the gap in knowledge of teacher education in Edo and beyond.
Senate, through a motion by Senator Uche Ekwunife, urged federal and state fire service to investigate the fire incident in Anambra Central Senatorial District of Anambra State.
That over 700 farmers and hundreds of traders have been totally impoverished.
The bill that seeks to establish the Nigerian Television Authority College, JOS, passed first reading. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
And still on health, a former lawmaker in Bauchi State has provided the first healthcare facility in Sabonlai, a suburb of Bauchi metropolis. Mahmoud Mohammed reports that the community has been in existence for about 3 decades.
Sabonlai. Located along Bauchi-Kano Road, the community is about 15 minutes drive to the center of the state capital. A lack healthcare facility.
Mukan sha wahala sai dai mu ta fama da chemist wani lokaci mu ta fama yara ya kawo mana mutum yara masu ciki ma ban mu da yanda zamu yi
sai wa zaka hau daga nan zuwa Turun zaka yi minti 30 ko zuwa 40 da wani abu zuwa da dawowa kaga za iya hadawa ya baka awa daya ko awa daya da wani abu ba.
And finally, a silver lining appears in their dark clouds, as this edifice now stands in the heart of the community as the first healthcare facility that would cater for their health needs.
The grace of God, my next pregnancy, I will enter here and deliver there in the name of Jesus.
Knowing fully that this particular community is devoid of all kinds of services when I made it, I made up my mind that I am going to have. As I made up this intention, God keeps blessing me, and today I'm done with it, and you can see how happy my people are.
Initiated by late Senator Ali Wakili and abandoned after his demise in 2018. In Bauchi, Mahmoud Muhammad, NTA News.
And from Bauchi, we head to Gombe. For any plan towards the development of the Northeast to succeed, the ideas of people from the SAP region must be included. This is the bottom line at the end of a consultative meeting with stakeholders on the Northeast Stabilization and Development Master Plan. Emmanuel Akila has details.
The Northeast Development Commission, NEDC, has been working to cushion the impact of insurgency, environmental degradation, socio-economic challenges, and the infrastructure deficit in the sub-region. It now wants to develop a plan for improvement and sustainability on its gains.
When you empower the youth, when you create economic development, then likelihood is you have peace and you have progress.
Gombe State has a 10-year development plan, which would help the Commission understand the direction of development of the state.
Without a good roadmap that affects or reflects the true yearnings and aspirations of the people of the sub-region, it will be difficult for the Commission to achieve the primary objectives of coordinating the resettlement, rehabilitation, integration, and reconstruction of infrastructure in the sub-region.
For the people of Gombe State, the consultative and engagement meeting is a consolidation on the impact the Commission is already making on their lives, and it is a forum for inclusivity to capture the true needs of the people of the region in a master plan.
In a day, we had about 40 cases of snake bite. And we are so comfortable. So because we have 2,000 bites, we know that nobody is going to die because of snake bite. So as far as I'm concerned, this Northeast Development Commission is something that we have been hoping for to come down to us.
The submission of stakeholders from Gombe State will be added to others to design a 10-year master plan for the development of the sub-region. In Gombe, Emmanuel Akila, NTA News.
A senator formerly representing Rivers East Senatorial District, Magnus Abe, has advised youths in Rivers State to take advantage of opportunities that abound to better themselves, the state, and the country at large. Senator Abe gave the advice during an interactive session with Rivers youths and young professionals in Port Harcourt. Janekume Ululu reports.
The interactive session with Senator Magnus Abe was to brainstorm on the future of the various communities and River State as a whole.
Government of the people, it means it's about the people. By the people give you their mandate and their sovereignty. And then for the people, it means that whatever you do must always capture the interest of the people.
The convener, Senator Magnus Abe, noted that in building a state and society, everybody has a role to play.
Great cities and great societies are built by the sacrifice and effort of its own people. If we want a great society in River State, if we want a great city, if we want a great community, if we want a place where our own dreams can be pursued and realized, we must be ready to make the sacrifices that will give us those results that we want.
The interactive session also created an opportunity for the youths and young professionals to ask questions and bear their minds on very critical issues.
Another opportunity to interact with one who says we are his own, and we can comfortably say he is our own.
Youths from the 23 local government areas of River State, including student union bodies and young professionals in the state, were in attendance. At the end of the interactive session, the youths, in a communique, declared their intention that Senator Magnus Abe should contest as governor in 2023 election. In Port Harcourt, Janekume Ululu, NTA News.
Let's now move to the Center of Excellence, where Adeola will give us more news. Adeola, it's over to you.
Thank you, Inyere. Dealers on walkie-talkie communication device and the users that are yet to obtain operating licenses to secure their frequencies have been urged to do so or face the wrath of the law. This was the core of a message at a sensitization roadwork held by officials of the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy at Alaba International Markets, Lagos. Amaka O reports.
Security, they say, is everybody's business, and for officials of the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy, there is need to take critical steps in tackling some loopholes connected with the procurement of walkie-talkie device, which is the crux of this sensitization program. At the Alaba International Market, considered to be the home of electronic gadgets in Nigeria, and it is the right place to continue the public enlightenment.
They are also using this opportunity to tell them that government is prepared to trace them up to the point of transmission if they fail to willingly come and register with the ministry.
You can equally go to the website www.comtech.gov.ng to get further information on how you can actually register and get your license.
They gave additional information on the procurement processes of the security gadget for seamless operations.
You need to obtain the license because there is a specific frequency that will be assigned to you that no any other person will be on that frequency. And should you have any case of interference, it is not you that will take it up. The ministry will now come to help you.
The market authorities and traders concerned promise to play their part as well as press home their demands.
We have opened our eyes to know that we're supposed to obtain license to operate.
We will continue to assist and support the government. They should assist us because right here, most times you find it difficult to make calls.
The Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy is saddled with the responsibility of facilitating information and communication technology (ICT) as a tool in the transformation agenda of the country. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
Self-limiting tendencies and lack of empirical data on women development have continued to militate against gender parity and women aspirations to leadership positions across the African continent. This came to the fore at a one-day Gender Equality Forum organized by the United Nations Information Center to commemorate this year's International Women's Day in Lagos. Musa Toliat completes the report.
Women from different parts of the African continent gathered to discuss common issues confronting their aspirations to leadership positions and to forge a common front with a view to removing the impediments in line with the theme of this year's International Women's Day.
We need men.
Participants share peculiar experiences on women development and the role of governments on the continent towards liberalizing the political space for those who intend to delve into politics.
What we want the men to do is to recognize our potential, is to recognize our ability, and to give us the space to grow as high as we want to grow.
There's no law that prevents us from attaining the highest office. It's for us also to empower ourselves, to stop those barriers and say ambassadors have to be men. I don't want to go because I don't want to lose out on this.
The need for women to come together and strategize for common good rather than continue to blame the men for gender disparity was also discussed.
Self-limiting is why we find ourselves where we are. Not the men, really. I don't believe. What I believe is we've got this potential inside of us. We need to go out. We need to be seen.
So to stop the bias, women we have to support women. There should be support system amongst ourselves.
South Africa is far advanced with gender equality legislation. We have a commission on gender equality. We have a commission on the status of women.
It is the 37th International Women's Day organized by the United Nations Information Center in collaboration with Cameroonian High Commission in Lagos. Musa Tolial, NTA News.
And that's a bit from here. Don't forget, you can follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on YouTube at NTA News Online. You can also visit our Facebook page at NTA Network News. Our Twitter handle is at NTA News Now and on Instagram at NTA Network for updates. The news will continue after this break. To stay on.
My whole thing winning. I just show myself what my whole thing winning.
Get data unlimited to experience Dance Unlimited on Glow TV. Watch Battle of the Year and other amazing TV content with Glow TV data plans that will make you dance. plans. Dial star 777 hash to choose the right data plan for you.
Capri Sun Funland. Can't wait. Hey. Entry denied.
No artificial colors, no artificial sweeteners, no preservatives.
Nothing artificial. Next up, the water slide.
Nothing artificial and great taste. Capri Sun, the taste of fun. Capri Sun, a product of Cheer Limited.
Introducing an all-time mega offer. Get over 50% discount in the Airtel Home Broadband mega offer. Buy a router for just 10,000 naira and get up to 240 gigabyte or a MiFi for 5,000 naira and get up to 125 gigabyte bonus data. More data, more you. Reliable home broadband bar.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
I missed them.
Well, they should be on their way by now.
Will it feel like it used to? With everyone so busy these days.
It will be fine.
Suddenly, feels like I'm gonna fall. I can see all of my dreams so perfectly. Love's not a dream at all. Somebody can rescue me. She always found ways to bring us all together. It took me a while to discover how she does it.
Devon King's taste that brings us all together.
Plus is here. Existing Glow customers will get 400% bonus on every recharge and 100 MB data bonus on first recharge of the month. New Glow customers will get 1,000 Naira welcome bonus. To activate, buy a new Glow SIM today or dial star 777 hash for existing Glow customers.
The judges of Nigerian Idol Season 7 are ready. The stage is set, and now it's time for you to impress.
Nigerian Idol Season 7, showing every Sunday on Africa Magic Urban and Family. Proudly sponsored by Biggie Drinks, Nigeria's favorite, and Binance. Exchange the world.
Glad to have you back. Let's now have a bit of politics as the All Progressives Congress Caretaker and Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee under the chairmanship of Yobe State Governor Mai Mala Buni says the governing party is crisis-free, strong and remains united in giving the country the transformative leadership and good governance it promised Nigerians. Salihu Guanara reports.
Just to announce to you and Nigerians that our party is resilient and stronger than ever, and there is no trouble anywhere in our party. I have made a press release, which I will circulate to all of you.
And indeed, the statement was made available to the media, where it states that the CECPC chairman, Governor Mai Mala Buni, took a trip abroad on health grounds, leaving behind written authorization for other members of the CECPC to continue work in his absence. Akpan Odoedehe in the statement said the APC Caretaker Committee is intact and functional as originally constituted with Governor Mai Mala Buni as chairman. contrary to widespread speculations that the chairman and the secretary and some officials of the CECPC have been removed from office or otherwise replaced. The CECPC assured that delivering a seamless, successful national convention for the APC on March 26, 2022 is top on priority for the Governor Malab Buni-led Caretaker Committee. The Caretaker Committee restates absolute loyalty to the APC, the national organs and leadership of the party led by President Muhammadu Buhari, and reassured members and citizens that the party is stronger than ever before and poised to extend her winning streak since 2015 into 2023 and beyond. In Abuja, Saliu Gwanara, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has felicitated with the past president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Engineer Mustafa Balarabe Shehu, on his election as president-elect of the World Federation of Engineering Organizations. The president, who wished the engineer Shehu a successful tenure, noted his overwhelming endorsement by the members of the body at the ongoing World Engineering Summit in Costa Rica as a testament to his passion for the field of human endeavor, as well as his dedication towards ensuring a better lease of life for Nigerians, especially rural dwellers, using his familiar terrain of electrical engineering. As the former executive vice president of the body assumes the mantle of leadership of the conglomerate of engineering organizations across the world in 2023, President Buhari urges him to use his wealth of experience and contacts to address some of the issues bedeviling the profession in the country, especially the unfortunate occurrences of collapsed buildings and improvement in the energy sector. It's now time to go over to Jos, where Zenrat has more stories for us.
The Federal Ministries of Health and Agriculture and Rural Development are collaborating to set up a technical working group towards actualizing the production of human vaccine in the country. The Minister of Health, Dr. Osage Ehanire, stated this when the two ministers visited the National Veterinary Research Institute, NVRI-VOM, in Denyang and Abuja, reports.
The visit by the ministers to NVRI is to assess the facilities on ground as the federal government is working to ensure the development of human vaccine, especially with the challenge posed by COVID-19. The ministers were briefed by the Director General, Dr. Mariam Mohammed, about the research institute that has developed more than 20 animal vaccines. Dr. Mariam took the ministers around facilities at the institute, including ongoing biosafety GMP laboratory.
The infrastructure, and they also have the experience in production to be able to join the community of those who are producing the human vaccines.
If we take the first option, about 6 months to 9 months, or the second option, about a year to a year and a half. And I think I consulted with the Minister of Health. I think the sooner we do this, the better.
We had already started concrete work for a vaccine production facility that will be able to scale up production of vaccines to up to 1 billion doses of vaccines per annum.
Human vaccines needs a lot of guards and controls, and I believe that it is doable with collaboration.
They were all optimistic that NVRI can be positioned to be used beyond COVID-19 in Jos, in Denyang and Abuja. NTA News.
Former Head of State General Yakubu Gowon says the construction of a flyover at the British-American junction Jos will no doubt reduce traffic congestion in the area and improve transportation in the city. He stated this while flagging off the project. Priscilla Grumnan reports.
General Yakubu Gowon, in company of Governor Simon Lalong and governors of Niger, Kwara, and Deputy Governor of Edo State, flagging off the construction of overhead bridge at the British America Junction and dualization of Lamingo Junction roundabout. General Gawan says it is an honor for him to be part of the epoch-making event meant to drive the developmental process of the state.
His Excellency and his government have done exceptionally well.
Governor Simon Lalong says the construction is part of keeping to his administration's campaign promises of providing critical infrastructure to the citizens.
We are able to consolidate on achievements in road infrastructure. The total sum of 12 billion naira has so far been expended by our administration on payment of outstanding costs of projects unfinished by the previous administration.
More and more people have migrated from rural areas to urban areas and cities. We need to improve on infrastructure, and that is what Governor Lalong will do.
Commissioner for Works Pam Botman assures that the 1.7-kilometer interchange project will be completed within a span of 12 months. Other dignitaries appreciate Governor Lalong for his efforts in turning around the fortunes of the state positively in Jos. Priscilla Grumnan, NTA News.
That's it from Jos. It's back to Ian Ray in Abuja for what's left of the news.
Many thanks, Zenrit. Now time for a break. Please stay.
Constitutional amendments and matters arising. That is our focus tonight on NTA Tuesday Live. Tuesday Live every Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. It promises to be incisive and educative. Join us.
President Muhammadu Buhari has sent condolences to the government and people of Zambia over the passing of the former president, Rupia Buezani Banda. President Buhari commiserated with the president of Zambia, Hakainde Hichilema, over the loss and urged him to follow the statesmanship of Banda, who handed over power in 2011 and also guided a peaceful transition in the country in the same year, urging leaders and citizens to always allow democracy to win. As the great African leader goes home to a final resting place on March 17, 2022, President Buhari urged more prayers for God's comforting arms on his family and friends while praying for the repose of his soul. The death has been announced of Deaconess Margaret Olutomola Ayodele, née Ihemudu, at the age of 74. A statement from the family on the burial arrangement in honor of late Deaconess Ayodele indicates that there will be a service of songs on Friday, 18th March 2022 at Charles Owaje Close off Grace Avenue, Oluwafela, Magboru, Ogun State by 5 p.m. On the 24th of March, there will be a wake-keep at the family compound in Iluafon Quarters, Ayeturu Wede at 9 in the morning, while interment follows immediately at the Ayeturu Wede Christian Cemetery. Outing and Thanksgiving service will be at the Apostolic Church, Okeayo, Iluafon Assembly, Ayeturu. And that concludes NTA Network News tonight. Many thanks for watching, and please be reminded that rape is a crime. Speak up and take action. I'm Yen Ray John. Have a good night.